The 6 vitamins that could be weakening your legs without you knowing it, and how to regain your strength before it's too late. Do you take your vitamins every day, thinking you're taking care of your health? Could something as simple as a supplement be silently taking a toll on your leg strength? What if the difficulty in climbing stairs, getting up from the couch, or walking steadily is not just a thing of age? This possibility may seem absurd at first glance, but what if I told you that millions of people are experiencing exactly this risk right now without knowing it? When we talk about muscle weakness, falls, and loss of mobility, what comes to mind is natural aging. But what if the problem is hidden inside your own closet? Perhaps the villain is not time, but overzealousness. And the worst, this can be happening every day, drop by drop, capsule by capsule, without giving any sign until it's too late. Let's get started. 1. Vitamin D, the sunshine. Vitamin that may be weakening your legs without you realizing it. Vitamin D is famous for its relationship to bone health, immunity, and overall well-being. It is so valued that many health professionals recommend its supplementation, especially for the elderly. But what few people know is that too much of this vitamin can also cause dangerous side effects, including affecting the strength and functioning of the legs. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. That is, it accumulates in the body. Unlike water-soluble vitamins, which are eliminated in the urine, excess vitamin D does not go away easily. When taken in very high doses for long periods, it can lead to a condition called hypercalcemia, the excessive increase of calcium in the blood. This excess calcium can be deposited in improper places, such as blood vessels, kidneys, and even muscles. And this directly interferes with muscle contraction and communication between nerves and muscles. The result? Frequent cramps, feelings of weakness, stiffness, and even constant muscle pain, especially in the legs. For the elderly, this is even more worrying. The natural loss of muscle mass is already part of the aging process, and any factor that aggravates this can accelerate the loss of mobility. In addition, hypercalcemia can impair kidney function and aggravate cardiovascular diseases, creating a cycle of physical frailty and systemic complications. Another important point is self-medication. Many seniors take supplements on their own or follow old indications without reassessing their current needs with a professional. The combination of vitamin D capsules, multivitamins, and fortified foods can gradually lead to a dangerous buildup. If you're feeling your legs heavier, tired, or having trouble moving, it may be time to look at how much vitamin D you're getting daily. And make no mistake, the symptoms do not appear all at once. They settle slowly, like a mist that gradually covers their vitality. It may start with unexplained fatigue after a short walk, or a greater resistance to climb simple steps, or even a fall for no apparent reason. But how do you know if you're overdoing it on vitamin D? The only safe way is to perform specific laboratory tests. Ideal levels vary from person to person, and what is good for one may be harmful to another. Therefore, it is essential to consult a healthcare professional before taking any supplement, especially those with a cumulative effect. Could something that seems so harmless be sabotaging your mobility every day? 2. Vitamin B6, the brain supplement that may be sabotaging your steps. Vitamin B6 is often sold as a boost for the brain, mood, and even energy. It is present in supplements for memory, mental clarity, and emotional balance. It's easy to believe that it's a totally safe vitamin. After all, it's water-soluble, and theoretically, the excess would be eliminated through urine. But the truth is quite different. Chronic consumption of high doses of vitamin B6 can lead to a condition called peripheral neuropathy. This condition affects the nerves in the extremities of the body, especially those in the legs and feet. At first, the symptoms are subtle. You may feel a slight tingling in your feet, as if they are asleep. Over time, this tingling can turn into numbness, loss of sensation, or even burning pain. And most worryingly, you may start to feel that your legs no longer respond as firmly, as if something had shut down part of the connection between brain and muscle. Some report stumbling for no reason, a feeling of imbalance or legs that do not obey as before. This type of damage doesn't just affect your mobility. It affects your confidence, your desire to move, your freedom to live autonomously. And the most alarming, in many cases, the damage caused by excess B6 can be irreversible. Even after stopping the supplement, symptoms can persist for months, or for a lifetime. It is frightening to think that something sold as beneficial could cause such interference. And unfortunately, it's more common than it seems. Many supplements contain doses much higher than the recommended daily limit, which is approximately 100 milligrams per day for adults. One capsule of B complex can contain 50 milligrams. And if you take other products for energy or mood, you may be getting triple the safe dose every day, without realizing it. Therefore, it is essential to read the labels, add up the doses, and talk to a doctor. And if you experience numbness, leg weakness, or any sensory changes, ask to have your vitamin B6 levels checked. A simple examination can reveal much more than you think. Is that energy and focus supplement actually draining your strength step by step? 3. Vitamin C, the shield against flu. That may be blocking your muscle strength. Vitamin C is one of the most popular supplements in the world. It is the first recommendation when it comes to immunity, prevention of flu and colds, and even muscle recovery. Naturally, many seniors rely on vitamin C as an indispensable part of their health routine. But is it really that harmless? The truth is that, although vitamin C is essential and has many proven benefits, its excessive use can generate imbalances that affect muscle health, especially the legs. In high doses, vitamin C can interfere with the absorption of other important nutrients, such as copper. Copper is an essential mineral for collagen formation, blood vessel health, and proper muscle function. Without adequate levels of copper, tissue integrity and the transmission of nerve signals can be impaired, and when this happens, the body can experience symptoms such as weakness, muscle fatigue, and even difficulty walking. In addition, excessive doses of vitamin C can also overload the kidneys and increase the risk of kidney stone formation, especially when the body cannot eliminate all the excess. This, in turn, can generate discomfort that further limits mobility and willingness to. Another important point is the false sense of security that vitamin C transmits. Many people believe that they can take it in large quantities without any risk, since it comes out in the urine. However, this does not mean that the body is able to cope well with continuous overeating. Effervescent supplements, capsules, multivitamins, and fortified foods can add up to much larger amounts than necessary. And because vitamin C competes with other nutrients in the process of intestinal absorption, it can gradually unbalance what the body needs to function fully. Signs such as constant tiredness, pain in the legs when walking, and a feeling of weakness can be confused with lack of energy or even anemia. But in fact, they can be indications of imbalances caused by excessive and misguided supplementation. Therefore, before continuing to take high doses of vitamin C just in case, the best way is to consult a professional, check your levels, and adjust your choices according to your real needs. What if that daily effervescent tablet is preventing your muscles from working as they should? 4. Vitamin A, the vision protector. That may be robbing you of your stability for decades, vitamin A has been celebrated as essential for vision, immunity, and skin health. It is present in several supplements, liver oils, fortified foods, and is constantly recommended as a nutritional reinforcement, especially for the elderly. But what few know is that, in excess, this vitamin can become a real enemy of physical strength and body stability. Like vitamin D, vitamin A is fat-soluble. This means that it is not eliminated quickly by the body and can accumulate in the liver over time. This accumulation, called hypervitaminosis A, is a silent condition that can cause serious side effects, and one of them is the progressive loss of strength and balance. One of the main negative impacts of excess vitamin A is the acceleration of bone loss. Studies show that high levels of this vitamin are associated with reduced bone mineral density, especially in the hips and legs. For the elderly, this poses a real risk of fractures and falls, even in simple everyday situations, such as climbing a step or getting out of bed. In addition, vitamin A can also affect the muscles, causing pain, tiredness, and a feeling of heaviness in the legs. And all of this can be mistaken for normal signs of aging. It's easy to think, I'm just getting older. But the truth may lie in a capsule taken every day, unnecessarily, and unaccompanied. Another important factor is the way vitamin A is consumed. The preformed version, called retinol, found in supplements and animal foods such as liver, is the most worrisome. It is absorbed directly by the body and accumulates easily. The vegetable version, beta-carotene, present in carrots, pumpkins, and leafy greens, is much safer. The body converts beta-carotene into vitamin A only as needed. Therefore, a diet rich in colorful vegetables can meet your needs without the risk of toxicity. If you experience persistent leg pain, difficulty walking long distances, or are avoiding stairs without quite knowing why, it may be time to review your supplements. Talking to your doctor, taking a specific blood test, and re-evaluating your routine can be the first step to regaining your stability. Could it be that vitamin you took to see better is hindering your ability to walk steadily? 5. Vitamin B3, niacin. The natural energy booster that may be draining your mobility. Vitamin B3, also known as niacin, is often promoted as a natural booster of energy, vitality, and circulation. It appears in supplements for prolonged energy, anti-aging products, and cholesterol formulas. Its vasodilator effect causes that sensation of sudden heat, known as flush, which makes many believe that it is activating something in the body. But does this temporary boost hide a higher cost? The answer, unfortunately, is yes, especially for the legs and mobility of those who consume it in excess. Long-term use of high-dose niacin can affect several systems in the body. Among the main adverse effects, liver damage, loss of muscle strength, and symptoms similar to chronic fatigue stand out. These effects are aggravated with aging, as the metabolism slows down, and the liver, which processes this vitamin, loses part of its efficiency. The problem is that niacin is present in several different formulas. It's common to find it in multivitamins, energy supplements, brain products, and even fortified foods. When these sources accumulate, the body can easily exceed the tolerable amount without realizing it. The result? Persistent tiredness in the legs, a feeling of weakness in the muscles, and less physical resistance. Many report that they start avoiding longer walks or sitting more often, thinking they are just getting older. But in fact, they are feeling the effects of a silent excess. In addition, niacin can influence blood glucose levels. For people who are prone to diabetes or insulin sensitivity, this can lead to sudden energy drops, dizziness, and loss of steadiness when walking. A dangerous combination when it comes to falls and fractures. Another pitfall is in the promises of the packaging. Supports energy metabolism, improves circulation, stimulates focus. All this sounds like an invitation for those who want to maintain vitality. But without medical advice, this impulse can turn into wear. Therefore, before taking any supplement that promises more energy, it is important to check the composition. If niacin is available, discuss with a professional whether it is really necessary for you, and at what dose. And if you've been feeling a strange weight on your legs, an increasing difficulty walking or staying active, don't ignore it. Could it be that that supplement that promised more energy is actually draining your ability to move freely? 6. Vitamin E, the famous antioxidant that may be quietly shutting down your leg strength for a long time. Vitamin E was seen as an indispensable health ally. It gained fame for its antioxidant action, for protecting the heart, skin, and even for delaying aging. Many people, especially the elderly, take it daily believing they are doing something positive for the body. But what few people know is that, in excess, vitamin E can seriously interfere with muscle strength and control, especially in the legs. Being a fat-soluble vitamin, vitamin E accumulates in fatty tissues and the liver. Unlike water-soluble vitamins, which are more easily eliminated, E remains in the body, and the excess can become toxic. High daily doses, for long periods, can affect the neuromuscular system, that is, the communication between nerves and muscles. This interruption causes subtle symptoms at first, maybe a little more effort to get up from the chair, or a slight instability when walking through narrow corridors estrados. Calm time, however, these difficulties become more evident. Weakness in the legs, tiredness after short journeys, loss of confidence to climb stairs. All of this can be confused with natural aging, but it can actually be related to something you take every day. And there is an aggravating factor. Vitamin E also has an anticoagulant effect. If you already use blood-thinning medications, such as aspirin or warfarin, the combination can be dangerous. It increases the risk of bleeding, including internal bleeding, which can occur after minor falls, exactly the type of accident that weakening of the legs favors. In addition, vitamin E is present in several products at the same time. You may be taking a standalone supplement, a multivitamin, a skincare formula, and even a brain support product, all of which contain vitamin E. So if you've been feeling your legs less firm, less resistant, and more sensitive to fatigue, maybe the cause is inside your supplement cabinet. The recommendation is clear. Talk to your doctor. Review everything you are taking and order specific tests. Reducing or adjusting the dose can make a big difference in your mobility and safety. Could it be that that antioxidant you believed was protecting your health is actually turning off your strength from within? The big picture. What leg weakness reveals about your health? Feeling your legs weaker, less confident, or struggling to support your weight isn't just a nuisance. It's a silent alert that something deeper may be happening in your body. And often, this something is not directly related to age, but to habits accumulated over time, such as the constant use of supplements without guidance. Leg strength is one of the main markers of functional health in older people. It determines whether you can get out of bed on your own, walk safely, climb a ladder, or even avoid a fall. When your legs start to fail, the impact goes beyond the physical. You lose autonomy, trust, freedom. And this can directly affect their emotional health and even accelerate processes of addiction and social isolation. It is common to attribute these difficulties to age. But what many don't realize is that small daily decisions, such as taking an unnecessary supplement, can interfere with the delicate balance between muscles, nerves, and bones. Vitamins such as E, A, D, B6, B3, and even C are essential in adequate amounts. But when they exceed ideal limits, they cease to be beneficial and become an invisible risk factor. The point is that the signs are discreet at first. Maybe a stumble here, a scare there. One day you avoid stairs. The next, you prefer to sit down. Without realizing it, they give up movement. And this feeds a dangerous cycle of sedentary lifestyle, weakening, and fear. In addition, health professionals do not always investigate the use of supplements in depth. Many symptoms such as fatigue, instability, or leg pain end up being diagnosed only as aging. And the real villain remains hidden in the form of a harmless capsule. That is why it is so important to change the way we look at these signs. Weakness in the legs is not just a discomfort. It is an indicator that your health is asking for attention. It may be time to review your diet, your physical activity routine, and above all, everything you consume daily, believing you are helping your body. Could it be that the real reason behind its instability is coming from inside a simple colored package? What you should do now. The 5 steps to regain your strength and confidence. Now that you know that some excess vitamins can compromise the strength of your legs, it's time to take action. But beware, there is no need to panic, much less abandon all supplements at once. What you need is clarity, guidance, and a secure plan. Here are 5 essential steps to protect your mobility and regain your confidence. First, review all the supplements you take. Open the cupboard, look at each bottle, and read the labels. Check the doses of vitamin E, A, D, B6, B3, and C. You may be surprised to find that you take the same nutrient in several different products without realizing it. This silent multiplication is one of the main causes of excess. Second, add up the quantities. The recommended daily dose varies according to age, gender, and health condition, but there is a maximum limit that should not be exceeded. For example, the limit for vitamin B6 is 100 milligrams per day. But with 2 or 3 supplements, you may be consuming 200 or more. Write down the values, and if in doubt, take the list to your doctor. Third, talk to the right professional. Not all doctors take a detailed look at the supplements their patients consume. If possible, look for a geriatrician, a functional nutritionist, or an integrative doctor. These professionals usually have a more complete picture of the impact of vitamins on the body of older people. Also, take a history of the symptoms you're experiencing, even if they seem minor. Fourth, ask for a vitamin panel at your next blood test. Most routine tests do not include specific vitamins. You need to clearly request the measurement of vitamin A, E, D, B6, and copper. This data helps your doctor understand what's in excess and what's missing, so you can adjust your plan safely. Fifth, prioritize real foods. Whenever possible, get your nutrients from fruits, vegetables, grains, and natural proteins. Nature balances vitamins in combinations that the body recognizes and takes advantage of better, reducing the risks of overload. Supplements should be allies, not substitutes. And they should only be used when there is a real need, diagnosed with tests and monitored by a specialist. Can reviewing your supplements today prevent a crash tomorrow? Another hidden danger, the daily enemy that may be atrophying your muscles. Even if you have all your supplements balanced, there is another silent factor that may be directly contributing to the weakening of your legs: a sedentary lifestyle. Yes, sitting for too long can be just as dangerous as overdoing it on vitamins. And the worst thing is that this is a common trap, especially for those who are retired, spend a lot of time at home, or are afraid to go out alone. The truth is that the human body was made to move. When you sit for hours and hours, your muscular system starts to slow down. The fibers of the legs, in particular, lose strength, resistance, and elasticity. Blood circulates with more difficulty, the knee and hip joints stiffen, and reflexes diminuem. Calm this, simple actions such as getting up from the couch or taking a walk around the block become challenges. And the more you avoid these movements, the more the body understands that it doesn't need to prepare for them. It's a vicious cycle. You feel weak, and therefore you move less. And when you move less, the weakness increases. But the good news is that this process can be reversed with simple attitudes. You don't need to. Join the gym or do complicated exercises. Just getting up from your chair every hour, taking short walks around the house, doing light stretches, or going up and down a step several times a day activates your leg muscles and keeps your body alert. Activities such as gardening, sweeping the sidewalk, washing dishes standing up, or even dancing at home to a song you like already count as functional movement. The most important thing is to avoid long periods in the same position. Your body perceives movement as a sign of life and better preserves its functions when it is in action. In addition, frequent movement helps balance glucose and cholesterol levels and even improves the absorption of nutrients from food. In other words, staying active is not just a way to avoid falls. It is a complete strategy to protect against premature aging. If you're worried about the strength of your legs, start by looking at how much time you spend sitting each day. You might be surprised. Could it be that the biggest enemy of your mobility is on the sofa in your living room? A message from an experienced gentleman. The advice I wish I had received earlier. Let me tell you something like someone who has lived a lot and seen a lot change. I thought I was doing everything right. I took my vitamins every day, ate well, avoided exaggerations, but little by little, I started to feel my legs weaker. I attributed it to time, to age, until I discovered that part of this came precisely from the supplements I took, believing they were protecting me. It was a shock, I confess, but it was also a lesson. Today, I look more closely at what I put on my body. I learned that what seems healthy really is not always what seems healthy, and that listening to our body's signals, no matter how small they may be, can avoid many problems down the road. So, if I can give you one piece of advice, it's this: question, observe, and don't be afraid to change. Because living well is not just about lasting longer. It is about having the strength to walk through it firmly. The journey to maintaining leg strength and independence throughout life begins with conscious choices. It's not about being afraid of vitamins or living with insecurity. It's about knowledge, listening to your body, and taking control of your health wisely. You have the right to live with firmness, balance, and freedom, and the power to do so is in your hands and in your steps. Get started today. Review your supplements, move more, seek expert guidance. Every little adjustment is an investment in your future. And remember, your legs are more than muscles. They represent your autonomy, your history, and all the paths you can still take. Don't let old habits limit the best you still have. You're not too old to change. It is the exact moment to live with more awareness and more strength.